Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nacho Cheese.
And I'm Unctuous.
And we are casting Round 2, Game 3 of the Small Time Tournament. We are casting a series between BigPotato, who is our red Terran, and Stilgar, who is going to be playing the purple Zerg. Was green Zerg the last couple times. He's trying to pull a fast one on us, but we're wise to it. We're on to you, Stilgar. Unctuous, why don't you talk for a little bit about the Small Time Tournament?
Sure. The Small Time Tournament is a tournament that was created by a fellow Redditor. He goes by Zen in StarCraft, and I don't remember his name. Rabbit Bot, I believe it is, on Reddit. Last week we casted I believe it was a Gold Platinum tournament, and this week we're moving into Diamond and Masters at this point. Next week, the Small Time Tournament is going to be ramping up a little bit more, because at this point our prize pool is $1, but next week it looks like it's going to be a $50 tournament. I'm going to try to get as many people involved as possible, and it's something that I've enjoyed casting very, very much. Nacho Cheese and I have been doing it from the beginning, because the beginning was 1 week ago, and we are really excited to continue doing it as much as possible.
Once again, I just want to echo Unctuous' shout-out to RabbitBot/Zen for putting all this together, putting all the hard work in to get this tournament figured out. I believe he's fronting the quite sizable prize pool of $1 for this week's tournament. So just lots and lots of love and hearts to him. Back to the game, however, both our players going for very normal openings. Now they know they're playing on an MLG map. This is MLG Shakur's Plateau. So we see both players going immediately to the cross positions, not checking these close positions, as there is no possible way for the players to be spawning in those close positions. The MLG versions prevent that from happening. So both of these workers going to find the correct spot on their first try, which means early scouting will be done. Those players know exactly where their opponents are. There will be no shenanigans trying to hide.
Zero shenanigans.
Stilgar has his hatchery about halfway complete at his natural and is starting his pool. BigPotato has Marine out chasing that drone and is just completing his wall off, so we are seeing nothing out of the ordinary for either of these players.
Now, the SCV in our Zerg player's base, trying to decide whether or not he wants to take a big step into the goo of the creep from our Zerg player. He is fascinated by it and absolutely terrified. I would be too. I mean, those jetpacks. Yeah, it's kind of gross. It looks a little sticky. Not something I would want to walk around in.
Looks like your boots might get stuck in that.
Yeah, but they also have these nice little thrusters on the back. It looks like the SCVs just kind of float around. Which means he doesn't really have to worry about touching it, but he does have to worry about, just the terrifying Zerglings, drones rather, that just ran by him. I'd be worried. It looks like a spine caller is coming up for our Zerg player. In the meantime, 4 racks coming down, in addition to the 1 barracks right in front. And I don't think our Zerg player is going to be able to see any of that unless an Overlord gets in here, usually around 5 minutes, but doesn't look like there's an Overlord very close at this point, which means we're going to be seeing some really, really, really heavy pressure coming up from our Terran players.
Now, neither player has taken the Zelnaga Caverns. BigPotato can get away with that because he has nothing to hide, but Stilgar really needs those towers to be able to see these Marines, which are going to be coming 5 at a time, which is just insane this early in the game. And Stilgar, moving his Zerglings up, could have gone to take the towers, which I think would be the correct move now, but instead he's going to move them right outside the Terran player's base, and probably be poking up the ramp, and he's going to see an incredibly large amount of Marines. He does not see any of the extra barracks, so he's got to be wondering to himself, how the heck did BigPotato get that many Marines off of that 1 barracks? I think if Stilgar is paying attention and is thinking a little bit, he's got to be very, very, very suspicious at this moment in the game. We don't see any reaction from him. He has these 2 spine crawlers down, and we're seeing him continue to just drone up, this could be very, very painful for our Zerg player, who was able to take Game 1 in this series with superior play. Stilgar was able to get a Zergling, Baneling, Mutalisk mix that was just strong enough to overpower BigPotato's Marine tank composition. That's how Stilgar won Game 1, but then BigPotato came back, went from a 2-racks bunker contain into a Marine tank siege push, and was able to take Game 2, and he's now going to be pushing up and catching these spine crawlers at a really bad moment, and is probably going to be able to do a lot of damage to our Zerg player. The spine crawlers... Go ahead.
Baneling next, just going ahead, just going down, just finished. He's going to try to morph as many Zerglings as possible into Banelings and just roll right through those Marines. Marines are getting pushed off by the Zerglings right there, and once Spine Crawler did go down, these Spine Crawlers are going to be able to do quite a bit of damage, especially with those Queens right there. A wonderful transfuse coming down from Stilgar, using those Queens to their fullest ability, but I think those Zerglings should definitely back up a little bit, get back on creep where they are strongest. We have 14 more Zerglings popping out, and Zergling speed is almost done. Metabolic boost is like 5 seconds from finishing, and in the meantime, this really early Terran pressure might not be able to do that much, and as much as he would like to at this point, just reinforcing so wonderfully with massive Marine. All our CD production has stopped. It's just a massive barracks all in, Marine all in.
Now, looking up at the production tab, a command center is going down for BigPotato. I think he realized that once speed finished for these Zerglings, it was just going to be too much for him to handle, so he is pulling back all of his Marines, although they're all getting picked off by the superior speed Zergling force, which is going to be able to run up and start morphing into Banelings. So we're looking at a Baneling bust, which will be surprisingly effective against just these 2 lone supply depots. If BigPotato is not able to properly defend this, this could turn around and not be very good for him. These Banelings walking up here, they are going to take down that supply depot. All those Zerglings moving in, a couple Banelings still left over, and if they can catch up to this Marine, they're just going to do a lot of damage. 1 Baneling taking out 2 Marines, the others following it up, and there's the GG for BigPotato, just not able to follow through with that 5-rack play, and that was a very, very solid win for Stilgar, able to steamroll this Marine Baneling bust up that ramp, and now those Zerglings are just going crazy on all of those FTVs. And that is Game 3. That series is over. Stilgar will take it 2-1 and be moving into round 3.
It was a very short but a very exciting game that I'm glad I got to be part of. I'm kind of upset that All In wasn't a little bit more successful at that, but I mean, I would say a very exciting game nonetheless. So we're going to try to get into round 3 coming up. Most of I believe the round 2 games should be just about complete. We went into a best of 3, and I'm sure not all of them have. So I think we're going to take a little break at this point, and we will see you after it. So my name is Unctious.
And I am Nacho Cheese, and we will see you for round 3.